said, really hyped to have you guys here. Just another reminder to keep yourselves muted if you're not speaking and to turn your camera off. So welcome to the hype session for health studies students. If you are not in health studies, you're more than welcome to stay, but do know that there will be a hype session for your specific program this week. Make sure to check Portal for more information regarding that. Please remember to once again keep your camera off and yourself muted during the presentation. If you do become unmuted, we will make sure to mute you. So don't worry about that, but make sure it doesn't happen. If you have any questions at all during the presentation, please feel free to type it in the chat. We'll be monitoring it and answering questions during our panel, so look forward to that. I'd also like to let you all know that this session will be recorded and will be available to you through Portal within the week, so keep an eye out for that. We want to remind everyone that this is a safe and inclusive space. We're all best friends. Please make sure to abide by the code of conduct that you signed during registration. We're here to learn and have fun, so we don't want to have to remove you from programming. Okay, here we have your amazing panelists for today. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Ida. I will be heading into my 4A term of the Health Studies regular program, which does mean that I'll be graduating very soon. It's very bittersweet for me. I'm glad to be finishing up with my degree, but I don't want to leave. Okay, I'm getting sad, so let's not get into that right now. But a fun fact about me is that I can say the alphabet backwards in less than 10 seconds, about 10 seconds. If we have time at the end, I'll show you guys. Does the next panelist want to introduce?
Hi, I'm Emily Danchu, and I'm going into my 2A term of health studies. So I just finished my first year, and I'm completing a preclinical specialization. And a fun fact about me is I'm a UW campus ambassador.
My name is Laura. I'm in my 3B of health studies, and I'm also doing a preclinical specialization. And a fun fact about me is that I've been to 11 different countries.
Hi, my name is Sammy, and I'm in my 4A term in the Health Studies regular program with a gerontology minor, which is one of the many degree add-ons that health studies students can get. A fun fact about myself is that I collect lanyards for fun. So far, I've got 100. Close to 100.
Hi everyone, my name's Taylor. I'm going into my 3A term of health studies, and I'm looking to complete a health research specialization. A fun fact about me is that I've decided as my next goal that I would like to complete a triathlon by the time I graduate from Waterloo.
So welcome to Hype once again. Today's schedule consists of a fun activity called Masked Messages, which we'll get into in a bit. We'll introduce you to the School of Public Health and Health Systems community, as well as our community for teaching and advising. We'll also be providing advice and tips on how to get ready for class, how you can get involved here at Waterloo, and how to succeed. An upper year student panel will also be happening where all of your burning questions will be answered, so don't worry about that. We also get into what next steps you want to take after this session, so let's get right to it. Let's start with masked messages. This is a super quick activity to help you reflect on some thoughts and feelings that you may be having as you enter your first year. Here you'll be asked a question and you can take some time to answer. Just remember to be honest to yourself. It's totally normal to be nervous. Even I'm nervous right now, no biggie. To participate in the activity, go to menti.com and put in the code as seen on the slide or scan the QR code. If everybody can see, I believe the link should be sent. If not, you can just visit the website. So what is one thing you are excited about starting first year? As soon as you guys open that up, you can start answering. Take your time, be honest. Meeting new people, moving from home, new food. Ooh, new food, that's a good one. Making new friends. We'll all link up. We'll all be new friends. Sorry, that's a little studying. Okay, we have some diligent students here. Excited to study. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, I can't read this fast, but I will try my best. New teachers. It's nice. Our professors here are great. Teaching assistants, amazing. Oh my God, it's getting smaller and smaller. My vision is not this great. Anyway, we can make that a little bigger. Learning new things, new opportunities. Friends, learning, moving out. Fresh start. That's a good one. It's always good to have a fresh start. It's like clean slate. New experiences that you will have, absolutely. No. Okay, well, that's about most that I can read. Yeah, honestly, in my first year, I remember coming in, all of these definitely happen, and they're so exciting, and I'm really glad for all of you guys to be experiencing it soon, in a couple of days, almost a week. So look forward to that. Next question, what is one thing you are nervous about starting first year? I know I had a lot going in, and it's totally okay to be nervous. Don't be shy, don't be ashamed. Take your time to think about your answer. Online learning, course load, harder workload, grades dropping, new environment, keeping up with the work course load, scheduling, work. I see a lot of these are about the workload. And with learning in any post-secondary institution, there will be a workload, but as long as you manage yourself well, you guys will succeed. I mean, tiny congratulations. You did get into the University of Waterloo, and I have complete faith in all of you. Not passing. Okay, these are very legitimate concerns. Being lonely. Don't worry about that. We'll be here for you. We have tons of opportunities here at the university to address all of your concerns here. Failing. Okay, I see a lot of these are about marks and whatnot. Environment. Lonely. Okay. Grades. Failing. Chemistry. As in the subject or with people? Because I understand both are concerning. The subject, you got this, you'll get through. Our professors here are great. There's teaching assistants to help you out. There's also tutoring sessions that occur, so don't worry about that. As for chemistry, we're one big happy family here, so I'm sure you'll get along just fine. Okay, anything else? Are those most of the answers that have come in? Okay, that seems like that's about it. So thank you so much for your participation, everyone. That was great. I'm gonna pass it on to the School of Public Health and Health Systems community. Public Health and Health Systems community. Public Health and Health Systems community. Public Health and Health Systems community.
All right, thanks, Ida. So my name is Diane Williams, and I'd like to say welcome to our health studies students. I'm the Associate Director of the undergraduate programs in the school, so that includes the health studies and the public health program. So in this role, I oversee curriculum development and innovation. I help support. I think somebody has to mute themselves. So I'm getting feedback. Okay, that's better. And I help support our outstanding professors to ensure the high quality of our undergraduate teaching. And I work very closely with our amazing academic advising staff that you will meet momentarily to help support our students and their academic success. I also teach several courses on human biohealth in the program. So I teach Introduction to Health 1, Health 101. And so I'll be meeting you all in the course starting next week. I also teach a third-year course on the physiology of human development, and I teach a fourth-year course on epigenetics and health. So you now are all part of the School of Public Health and Health Systems. Within the school, we have our interim director, and that's Dr. Ellen McKecken. So in this role, she is responsible for overseeing all of the programs in the school. So that includes our undergraduate and our graduate programs. We actually have quite a lot of graduate programs, and several of our undergrads actually decide to stay on and go to grad school here. And she also oversees all the faculty and staff in the school. We also have our amazing academic advisors that you'll meet, and a great team of professors, teaching assistants who are graduate students, and other staff members. So I just wanted to say that I feel so lucky to be part of such a vibrant, caring, and highly interdisciplinary community in the school. And it's you, our students, who play a vital role in contributing to this amazing community. Our students bring such great energy and passion to improving health and helping others. And I'm always just so amazed at the achievements I see in our students because I meet them all in first year. And I teach many of them in third and even in fourth year. And I always marvel at the growth and achievements of our students, including our orientation leaders that you've already met, Ida, Emily, Laura, Sammy, and Taylor. Our students care deeply about health equity and social justice and often become advocates and leaders who give back to their peers, to the university, and to their broader community. So I just wanted to say I'm so excited to welcome you all and follow you on your journeys over the next 4 to 5 years. And now I'm going to pass the mic to our outstanding undergraduate program coordinator and academic advisor, Doris Makowicz. Take it away, Doris.
Good afternoon. My name is Doris Makowicz, and I am the undergraduate programs and scheduling coordinator. And I also advise, I'm also an advisor as well, but I'm very fortunate enough to have 2 other advisors to support me. And they'll be discussing or telling you a little bit more about what we do, but really what we do is you guys, the students are at the heart of what we do. And that's why we've got Dr. Williams and Ms. Hugh and Ms. Atoria. And all of these upper year students here to help you. Really, at the heart of it, we are trying to empower you, the student, to help you develop a holistic view of your academic plans and in order to balance your life. We've got about 190 students in the health studies program, but as you progress in your program, you'll see some of the classes will grow smaller. Right now, you're in a lot of big classroom sizes, but it'll get smaller as you progress towards your degree. So I'm going to let Ms. Hugh and Ms. Atoria take the next slide and talk about exactly what we do as advisors.
Hello. My name is Katarzyna Satora, and I'm one of the academic advisors in the School of Public Health and Health Systems. As advisors, we are responsible for providing educational guidelines and support to students, for example, by helping them with course selection, or creating course sequences, or referring them to different services on campus. For example, if you have questions regarding career planning, graduate professional schools, counseling services. We are also monitoring students' academic progress and meet with students who may be not doing well in their courses. You'll be able to get to know us better during the one of the Health 101 tutorials. So stay tuned. You will meet. You'll get to know me and Ms. Hu in a couple of weeks, and we'll explain a little bit more about the program and what you can expect from us. Go ahead, Grace.
Hi, everyone. This is over here. I'm one of the academic advisors at the School of Public Health and Health Systems, along with Ms. Katarzyna Siskora, who we just met a couple of seconds ago. So we're, as Ms. Makowicz and Ms. Tara was saying, we are here to support you. We have a wonderful FAQ page, which you can see on the slide on the link below. So if you have any questions about the program, and you're thinking, oh, like, I don't want to wait too long for an answer, a lot of the common questions are already answered in our FAQ page, such as some questions about co-op, course enrollment, etc. So we really encourage you to check it out first. Well, after if you read the FAQ and you still are unsure about your questions, or you just want to talk to one of us, you can always send us an email at sphhs-undergrad@uolu.ca. We understand fall is going to be a little bit different because we are all working remotely, studying remotely. Normally, we would have also in-person dropping hours, but for the fall term, we move all our dropping hours to virtually. So you're also able to call us at our extension during our dropping hours. So rest assured that we are here to support you. And we hope we will see you soon when everything's back to normal on campus.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Williams, and our wonderful advisors. Honestly, your academic advisors could very well be your best friends for your coming years here at Waterloo. Personally, I visit our academic advisors so much that I've lost track. I have visited all of our advisors for information and advice regarding my course selection in order to ensure that I meet the requirements for the preclinical specialization and prerequisites for courses I'd want to take in the future as well. So figuring all of that out on my own was definitely a headache and a half. So having them around, constantly ready to provide any information I would need at any time, was very helpful and reassuring. Actually, a memorable meeting with an academic advisor I've had was actually with Katarzyna. I remember being very confused with what I wanted to do after my undergrad. It was a little mid-degree confusions, little haze that I had. And she kindly referred me to the career advisor, where I felt like I had just the support that I needed, as I found out information that I probably could not have found on Google. So with your advisors, there's always something new to learn, and it'll be very beneficial for you. So remember that your advisors are always here for you, as are your professors. So be sure to take advantage of these resources and thank me later. I'll pass it on to Dr. Williams once again.
Great, thanks, Ida. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about our teaching community. So your professors will be your mentors both in the classroom and along the way during your undergrad. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of getting to know your professors and seeking out mentorship. This is something I wish I'd done earlier in my undergrad degree. I didn't really figure that out till third and fourth year. And when I did reach out to professors, that was actually what allowed me to go on to the next step of the graduate program that I ended up in, was through seeking out mentorship. So even if you're feeling a bit shy or intimidated, drop into our office hours, introduce yourself, talk about one of the topics from lecture or your readings that you found really fascinating, or ask questions about things that you found confusing from the course topics. So all of the professors are really care and invested in your success and wellness. So if you're ever struggling, you should reach out, ask them questions, let them know, let us know. If we don't hear from you, we don't know if you need help. It is important to remember that professors have a lot of competing priorities, and our email inboxes get filled up very quickly, particularly in large courses. So I always recommend that students actually just drop into office hours. You'll see in Health 101, there'll be a couple of different ways of attending virtual office hours. And also make use of the online Learn discussion boards. So all of your courses are going to have discussion boards where you can ask content-related questions. If there are things that other students could benefit from the same question, then please use those boards as well. But again, don't hesitate to reach out. And then a tip for communicating with professors, make sure that you plan ahead and give yourself an extra cushion of time. So, you know, if you have an assignment coming up and it's due tomorrow and you email me or you even post a question to the Learn discussion board at midnight, you probably won't hear back. So we like to maintain a balance in our lives and work normal hours. So just don't leave these types of questions to the last minute. All right, thank you. All right, I'm doing the next slide too. In terms of getting ready for your classes, as you may have already heard, all classes are going to be online, and most of your courses will be delivered in an asynchronous fashion. So that means you won't be required to be present for synchronous sessions at specific times during the week. And this is because we know students are living in different time zones, and it would be hard for you to be available always at the same time. And so a lot of your courses will have content in the forms of readings, some pre-recorded lectures, as well as links to other videos and other sources. And then you'll have activities and assignments that'll help you solidify your learning of the content. You'll also get to know your peers via different activities like Learn discussions, video assignments, and so forth. And then your professors will have virtual office hours. And so, for example, in Health 101 this fall, we're going to have both individual drop-in office hours if you'd rather speak to me one-on-one, which will be virtual office hours. And they'll be via WebEx, and you'll hear all about this when you get access to Learn next week. And then we'll have group Q&A sessions every week as well that you can drop into and ask questions, where I'll be there and other peers in the class so that you can learn from each other and from me as well. So I will be teaching Health 101, and you'll learn about and discuss a lot of highly relevant topics on current health issues this term. You'll talk about things like how stress affects your health and strategies to manage stress. You'll learn about how racism contributes to large inequities in health outcomes for racialized groups. You'll learn what we currently know about COVID-19 and how it affects the body and how the immune system reacts, because we'll do a whole module on infectious diseases in the immune system. And you'll also discuss the opioid crisis and how different stakeholders have to work together to combat this crisis. So it's a really fun course. I love teaching it, and I really look forward to meeting you all in Health 101 this term. My tips for success during your courses are, one, to really try to keep up with the weekly lecture content and readings and to ensure you meet deadlines. It's pretty easy to fall behind when you have 5 or more courses, including your labs. So you really want to keep on top of everything. You won't have the aspect of physically going to class to keep yourself on a schedule. So you're really going to have to make a schedule for yourselves. Try to set up your workspace at home to optimize your learning. So try to minimize noise where you can. Try to have good connectivity and make sure you have everything you need. And that would include, for example, course materials. And again, once you get access to Learn, you'll get more specific information on course materials for your courses. And then use Learn in the course outlines to find out more information. So what you want to do is get familiar with Learn pretty early on, and in all of your courses, navigate around, make sure you know where to find the course syllabus, where the lecture content is, any assigned readings. Make sure you know where the assignments and activities are, such as the quizzes, discussion groups, the Dropbox for uploading assignments, and just other features that some of your professors may be linking from Learn to other platforms, such as an online resource connected to your textbook. Don't worry if you feel a bit overwhelmed at first. It will take a little bit of while to get used to how Learn works. I will be in my first Q&A session next week. I'll actually be kind of taking students through where to find things on the Health 101 Learn page. And again, don't hesitate to ask any questions. Okay, I think Sammy's next.
I think it's me.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. No worries. Now, I'm sure
yes.
you all must be wondering about your course materials. The W store is where you can purchase all of the things that you will need for your courses. This includes textbooks and course notes, which can be found through My Book Look. Fun fact is if you log into My Book Look with your UWaterloo username, it will tell you all of the required and optional resources for all of your courses. For example, you can find out the course notes that you will need for Chem 120L and Bio 130L, which are your chemistry and biology labs. You can also browse through the online used bookstore to see if any editions of your textbooks are available. The used bookstore is always a great resource and really helps with saving money with just the resources you need. So if you're unsure if you can use an older edition of a textbook, always make sure to double check with your professor. This often varies, so it's good to know. I've had many courses where we have not been able to use, say, the 6th edition, and we can only use the 7th edition. Or another course where the professor will say, 6th edition, 7th edition, it's the same thing, just get either or. So make sure to double check with your professor on that. Once you receive the course outlines for all of your courses, which will be posted to Learn underneath each course, make sure to look out for the due dates, exam dates, and more. Put them in your phone, calendar, or agenda. It's very important to stay on top of your game when it comes to completing your coursework. Make sure you are familiar with what will be due at what point in time. It's extremely helpful to make a work back schedule so that you can plan when you have to start working on assignments and preparing for exams. Now, I remember for myself personally, when I was in first year, I hate to say it, extremely unorganized. I did not really use a calendar or agenda or my phone for anything. I kept everything up here mentally. And it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best decision. I do now. I'm a changed person. I now use my calendar and my phone and I set reminders. So I tell you from firsthand experience that this is a very helpful tip. Make sure you do that. And I also never actually knew about My Book Look. I'm not sure if it was a thing when I was in first year. That shows you, like, I didn't know. But here we are to let you know of this great resource, which I hope you guys take advantage of using. So definitely use My Book Look, because I remember walking into the W store or browsing for textbooks and course notes online and just thinking, oh, okay, wait, Health 101, I needed like that health textbook, I think, health systems in where? I don't know. But if you use My Book Look, you'll have the exact name and everything else. I'll pass it on over to Sammy now.
With an introduction of the school of public health and health systems community and tips for academic success covered, let's focus on the extracurricular side and talk about how you can get involved in AHS. To start off, I'll be talking about the Applied Health Sciences undergraduate members, abbreviated to AWESOME. So, what is AWESOME? It's an organization that serves and represents all AHS students, including first-year students. Think of AWESOME as your student society. AWESOME is, well, awesome because of the many social and academic events that are set up throughout the year. This is an excellent opportunity to meet other students and have a great time. Some standout events include a paint night, a fun rock climbing trip, and AWESOME's special event, Pops and Talk with Profs, which is an annual event where you can chat with your AHS professors, meet new ones, or just hang out with students over some delicious food. Through this event, I've met with so many professors. For this fall term, AWESOME will be providing their services and events virtually, so be on the lookout for more information on the AWESOME website or on the social media platforms on the slide. If you're interested in joining the team that coordinates these wonderful events, you can be part of the AWESOME executive. The earliest you can apply is when you are in your 2A term, and these positions are filled through elections that are held at the beginning of each term. For more information regarding AWESOME executive, please visit the AWESOME website shown on the slide.
I'm going to be talking about ASEF. So ASEF is the Applied Health Science Student Endowment Fund. It's a pooled fund that students contribute to each term. And it's a student-based financial support system that was created to enhance the academic environment of all undergraduates in the Faculty of Applied Health Science. And the fund is used to support student life and the academic success of all AHS students. For instance, in the first year anatomy labs, if you choose to take it as a health studies student, which you can as an elective, ASEF actually gives us the gloves, which greatly improves the class experience as all materials you need for the course are already provided, and it takes away that hassle. It makes everything super convenient. And if you're interested, you can also apply in your upper years to be part of the ASEF Board of Directors, where you'll be responsible for helping decide which proposals get funding in the future. I'm going to pass over to Laura now.
So I'm sure everyone is wondering how they can get involved, especially with everything being online. So here are some future opportunities you may want to take advantage of on being able to get involved on campus. And don't worry, if you want, you can take a picture now, or you can rewatch the recording later to get all of the contact info, so you don't have to rush to do it right now. So the first one is the Campus Response Team. And what they are is they are at every on-campus event, and they act as first responders before emergency services arrive. So all of their members get first aid skills to respond to medical emergencies, and they are currently recruiting online for a virtual fall 2020. And then Ahs Ambassadors are a team of undergrad students from all different programs, and they get to interact with prospective students at things like the Open House or OUFs, the Ontario Universities Fair. You may actually have had a chance to have spoken to one or two of them. And they represent the faculty to students and families, and you can apply starting in spring 2021, so 2 terms from now. And then finally, there's peer health education, which is actually something that I've gotten involved with. I've really enjoyed it. You're able to promote healthy behaviors and lifestyle choices among your own university peers. And I found it to be a really good way to see health promotion sort of with my own eyes and what works and what doesn't from what my course is. And they will be operating in fall 2020, so would definitely recommend applying. And now I'll hand it over to Taylor.
So thanks, Laura. So another great way to get involved is through the through the Center for Community Clinical and Applied Research Excellence, which is also known as CARE. And they offer exercise programs for clinical populations. So this may include groups such as individuals living with cancer, stroke, or cognitive impairments, and they work with them in an exercise setting. The programs are currently being offered virtually, but you can fill out an application for volunteer positions in winter 2021. This is something that I've personally been involved with, and it's a great way to gain relevant experience and meet some wonderful individuals from the greater Waterloo community. And lastly, we have volunteering with Waterloo Orientation as a leader. It's a very rewarding experience where you get to welcome new students to the university like yourselves. And you can apply to be a part of Orientation 2021 to welcome students. This is something I'm also very biased about. I've been involved with orientation for the past 2 years, first as a leader and now as a coordinator. And it's a really great experience and a great way to meet even more people from our faculty.
Thank you so much, Taylor. So support from your upper year students. We Connect You is our mentorship program within AHS specifically made for students by students. You can sign up now to be matched with an upper year mentor from your respective program. Definitely visit the We Connect You website for more details. The link is shown on the slide, so feel free to take a picture or copy it down. This session is recorded, so you'll find this later on as well. You can also find this link on the Applied Health Sciences page. Once connected, your mentor can help you find the resources you need and can share information about events, opportunities, and even their own past experiences with you. It's a great opportunity to connect with another AHS student, so I'd highly recommend this. We are all best friends, after all. If you're interested in volunteering as a mentor in future years, applications will open next spring, so keep an eye out for that. We'd love to have you join us and for you to be able to share your experience with future first years. MATES is another option offered by the Waterloo Undergraduate Student Association, otherwise known as WUSA. This is available to you for peer support. MATES provides support to students who are looking to build social skills or are experiencing personal or academic concerns or low-level mental health and wellness difficulties. You can reach out or get in contact if needed using the information on the side, so feel free to take note of that as well. Whatever support it is that you need, we're here for you, so please don't be shy. It is now time for the upper year panel. Here, our panelists will be ready to answer any questions or concerns you may have. So please feel free to go ahead and type out your questions in the chat. I believe we do have quite a few questions.
Okay, so the first question that I'm going to answer is regarding where to find course information, homework assignments, and other information like that. It's available on Learn, so we're really lucky at school. We have everything on Learn. All your classes will be on there, all your assignments, your syllabus, and the syllabus is going to tell you all the information you need to know for the rest of the term. So what textbooks or materials you might need, how to contact your professor, what assignments you need to do, and how much they're worth. Mark-wise, so everything will be available there at learn.uwaterloo.ca.
I'll answer another question if lectures are going to be live. So Dr. Williams mentioned it earlier, but most of the course content is not going to be synchronous. So there's not a specific time zone you're going to have to be awake at, but every instructor is probably going to have a different approach. So I would definitely make sure to reach out if it's not clear in the syllabus. And I'll go ahead and answer the co-op question as well, because I think it's just me and Zainab on the panel. I actually was looking for a co-op position right when all of this started. And it's basically the same thing other than interviews and things like that are online. For right now, stuff for co-op doesn't start until 2A, so you still have about a year and a bit to figure everything out. But for now, I would recommend getting work or volunteer experience. I'll send a link that you can get more information at for co-op into the chat. But yeah, there's definitely lots of different health jobs. There's lots of different positions you can take. Honestly, co-op is what you make of it. There's lots of different things you can do. And then I don't know if Zainab has anything to add about co-op.
Yeah, as Laura said, definitely each person has their own experiences. Some people choose to go into specific fields that they are more interested in, such as research. I personally am not a big fan, so I ended up going to the more technology side. So I actually worked in a pharmaceutical company this summer in their IT side, so kind of like health informatics. So you can make your own experience out of it, and you can also get jobs outside of the healthcare and just whatever looks interesting and whatever you want to try out.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura and Zainab, for answering those questions about co-op. We had a few questions in the chat about courses and course materials. So Diane, would you be able to answer whether or not courses will come up on Learn at midnight, or will that be later in the day, as well as how the labs will be working in the online format?
Sure, I'm happy to answer the questions. And so people also ask me about the textbooks too, so I'll answer that as well. So everyone will get access to Learn right at midnight on September 8th. So you'll be able to see all of your courses in Learn. For your labs, like the chemistry and biology labs, you'll have a learn page for those as well, and they'll tell you whether you need any materials. And of course, any other materials that you might need, you can look at the Waterloo, the W Store My Book Look. Specifically for Health 101, there is a required textbook for the course, and a few students have emailed me already. But I'm basically telling all students you can hold off on purchasing for now because everyone will have access to 2 weeks of free access to an e-text version of the book. Students can also buy a used version if they can find one, as long as it's a Canadian edition. And then in terms of course reserves, you'll be able to see that in Learn when you log into your homepage on the left-hand side. There'll be a link to get access to course reserves, which is primarily for journal articles that are available at the library. And then somebody asked about the difference between a specialization and a minor. So that's a great question. A specialization is only available to students within the program. So for example, in health studies, we have a preclinical specialization, so only health study students can do that. And it has a bunch of extra courses that you can take, choosing from a list of electives to meet the prerequisite requirements for certain professional programs, say like medicine or nursing, optometry, and so forth. And so if students are interested in doing this specialization, I recommend you can start taking courses in first year. But the important thing is you want to look at the requirements of whatever professional schools you want to apply to. So the Center for Career Action has great career advisors who specialize in supporting students who are looking for professional programs after they graduate. And so they can also help you with looking up prerequisite requirements. And of course, I and our academic advisors are happy to talk to you about that as well. And then somebody asked about the difference between a specialization and a minor. A minor is available to all students on campus. And so any student can do any minor. So we have a minor within the school in gerontology, but students from any program can do it. And just like you could do a minor in psychology, a minor in biology, nutrition, medical physiology. So I highly recommend, if you think you might want to do a minor, start looking up the what's available and think about what you might want to do. And then somebody asked difference between applied health sciences and honors health studies. So applied health sciences is the faculty, and that includes several different programs. So health studies and public health, the kinesiology, and the rec and leisure studies programs all fall within the applied health sciences faculty. And the health studies is one of those programs.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Questions. Yeah, thank you for answering, Dr. Williams. Those
You're welcome.
Questions and answers. If anyone has any more specific questions about minors, specializations, that kind of thing, please, you're welcome to begin reaching out to the academic advisors as soon as you wish. They are wonderful people and will be able to answer any questions you have about that. One question that we had from a student was, what is the best way to reach out to professors about potential research opportunities? Taylor, would you be able to answer that?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been very lucky and I've had opportunities to work with a number of different profs within the faculty. So I've had the chance to work alongside two kinesiology profs, as well as a prof from health studies. So my recommendation for looking for research opportunities, first of all, is just to look for something that really interests you. So if you have a prof and you take classes with them and you're really enjoying the content, be sure just to reach out to them, let them know that, and ask them questions about their work. My best advice would be to reach out through an email and then follow up asking if there's a time that you might be able to meet with them to ask some more questions about their work, in particular outside of the course, and then work from there to see if there are any opportunities to volunteer as a research student, as profs are going to vary in whether they have undergrad students working with them or not. But they're all super, super approachable, so don't be afraid to reach out and see if there are any opportunities available.
Thanks, Taylor. One more question we had about class schedules through Quest. Will they be receiving any class schedule through Quest? Laura, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, for sure. If you haven't done so already, you should definitely go on Quest and check your schedule. For first term, you should already be enrolled in the courses that Grace mentioned earlier. There shouldn't be, if it's not live, there shouldn't be anything above in the time slot. For me, I know one of my classes will be not in person, but it will be live. But everything else is just going to look a little bit strange because obviously you don't have scheduled classes, but everything underneath you'll definitely be enrolled in.
Amazing. Thank you, Laura. Another question a student had was about Awesome. So Sammy, would you mind answering how will Awesome events work if we are unable to connect on campus?
Sure. So it's important to check the Awesome website and check the socials. So either through Facebook or Instagram for more details on future events and the details on those events and how they'll occur.
For sure. Thank you, Sammy. Awesome will be focusing their efforts through online events and networking this term, so definitely check out their social medias, as Sammy said, to stay connected with them. There are a few questions about advice for students looking to get into the preclinical specialization. Emily, would you like to add on that, please?
So my biggest recommendation if you're looking towards doing any specialization is go to the undergraduate studies calendar. It's a super useful website that mentions all the courses you need to take for it and whether or not you're able to do specific specializations, because as mentioned earlier, you can only do it if you're in specific programs. But I would recommend starting to look at these things in first year if you're looking at minors or specializations, just because you want to plan how, like, what electives to take in the future. Some of these courses need prerequisites, so you just want to plan ahead. And if you don't exactly know where to start, the academic advisors are a great place to start. Just ask them about it, and they'll be sure to answer any specific questions that you have.
Perfect. Thanks, Emily. One question a student had about co-op is about how co-op will work with the given COVID-19 situation. Laura, would you like to touch on this a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, hopefully by the time you all start co-op in about a year or more, COVID will be a nice distant memory. But I can touch on how things are going right now. So myself and a lot of my other friends in health studies, we've held a variety of positions. Like Zainab mentioned, she was at a pharmaceutical company. Some of my other friends did more research positions or marketing positions, and they were all online. So you worked from home just like everybody else. And that was a way to still be able to do what we were going to normally do, but in a more socially distanced way. I don't know how things are going to be looking forward, but I'm assuming a more hybrid model of online and in-person will start to show up.
Perfect. Thanks, Laura. I'll touch on that a little bit. You as co-op students will not begin your co-op search until your 2A term, so that will be fall of 2022. So given the current changing circumstances with the virus, we cannot give you a certain answer about what your co-op experience will look like. This is just what we can give you based on the experience that we've had the past term. So hopefully the situation is quite different for you all in the future. But obviously you will learn more about that as you get closer to that co-op program. Ida, there's a question about any specific groups for health studies students that you might know of. Do you have any input on some important groups or important pages that these students should be kind of keeping on their radar for the next few years?
Yeah, hi. Honestly, it's as previously mentioned in the presentation, we have Awesome and ASEP and all these other communities that you can be joining to, gain connections and to get more involved in the health community, as well as with orientation as well, being a leader and whatnot that you can also do. And in addition to not only health studies, there's also many there's clubs. There will be a virtual clubs fair, so look forward to that. There's many clubs on campus at Waterloo that you can look forward to joining, and many of them health related as well. So please look forward to joining those as well.
Viv, you're muted.
Sorry, knew that would happen eventually. So there are lots of questions about labs and tutorials and how exactly they are going to work in the future term. Once classes begin on September 8th, you will receive access to Learn. The professors and instructors for each of those sessions will be giving you instructions as to how exactly the course will run throughout the term. We cannot give you an exact answer at this moment, just with the different professors that are running each certain lab. So definitely stay tuned to your Learn course as well as your syllabus to learn more about how exactly labs and tutorials will be running with each specific course, because each professor will work differently. I think there was a question about how can we find out whether courses are live or are not live. Based on what we know, most, if not all, classes within applied health sciences will be running asynchronously, meaning that material can be covered by students at any point throughout the day. There will not be any live aspects of our education for this term, just given that many students are in different time zones and it's hard to coordinate classes, having everyone attend. So once again, when Learn opens up, you will get more information about that as well. Sorry, just trying to read here. Someone asked, is there anyone I can speak with to plan out my step-by-step pathway for my degree, so I can have all of the required courses to pursue a specific career? Zainab, would you like to touch on that question?
Yeah, sure. In terms of if you're planning for a postgraduate degree, a recommendation is to always go backwards to see what their requirements are for the specific schools you're applying to. We also recommend, if you need extra help or need more guidance, the SECA, which is our Center of Experiential and Career Advising. I maybe got that wrong, sorry about that. They usually have career advisors that you can book appointments to that can kind of help you out with the process and even help you out with the application process when you're in third year or fourth. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Zainab. Everyone has really great questions, and I know we really want to answer all of them to make sure that everyone knows exactly what will be happening in future terms. But unfortunately, we are coming close to the end of our session. So if you do have any extra questions you'd like to ask, you are welcome to hang on after the session is done, and we will help answer your questions then. If you have any more specific questions about personal education plans or transfer credits or specific courses that you yourself are looking to take, please refer these questions to your academic advisors and they will be able to help answer any questions you may have. But at this moment, I will be passing it over to Grace, who will be going over some tips for success.
Great, thanks. Sorry, just trying to find the unmute button. All right, thank you for all the questions and our wonderful panelists for answering them. As Vivian was just saying, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach to us, your academic advisors. We'll try our best to help you, or refer you to any specific resources. I do see a lot of questions about medical school, professional schools, at which point those are some questions that we may refer you to our other specialists on campus as well. So fall 2020 is going to be all online, as you all know. It's your first year, first term at university. We understand this is a very big change for a lot of you. And, you know, in addition to the online mode. So please, please, please take care of yourself. Be mindful of what you need to be a healthy student. You know yourself the best. If you need to take a break, take a break. Be aware of where you are and how things are going. So our students' health and safety is our number one priority. If you are experiencing any troubles or you're feeling unsure, please reach out to us. If we will try our best to help you, and if not, definitely help to refer you to more appropriate resources. In addition, plan ahead with your studies. So universities, when you start, you may find a lot of things are quite different from high schools. A lot of our students, when they first start universities, they soon realize in universities all deadlines are very final. So deadlines are deadlines, and you have to adhere to that. So you definitely want to keep track of your deadlines to avoid any issues in the future. Also, we usually recommend our students, if you start to feel like you need additional support or you have questions, definitely reach out to your advisors or your instructors sooner than later, so that not only you're giving your profs, your advisors, or TAs more time to respond, but if there's a major issue, we can try to resolve that early on rather than wait till the last minute. And now I'm passing on to Diane, Dr. Williams.
Great, thanks, Grace. And I also just want to, again, put in a plug for attending the office hours for your courses. So most of your professors, as well as your TAs, will have weekly live office hours, and they'll usually be a combination of individual drop-ins as well as group Q&A sessions. So office hours are a very valuable and underutilized resource. So put your tuition dollars to good use and talk to your professors. We all get lonely when we sit in our virtual or real offices waiting for students to come by. We set aside these weekly hours in our schedule to connect with students. So don't miss out on this opportunity. If you are unsure of a concept or have questions about your course, if you have questions more about mentorship and potential future career opportunities, professors are a great resource as well. And certainly if you're unsure of who to talk about, you can ask me who's a good person to talk to if I think I might want to go into epidemiology and biostatistics, or if you want to talk to me about medicine. I've mentored some of our students and I've written reference letters for some of our students who've gone on to pursue medicine. I still recommend you speak to the career advisors first before you come and talk to me about professional programs. And then in terms of the office hours for each of your courses, you'll find out more information in Learn starting on September 8th. Now, in terms of academic integrity, it is taken very seriously here at the university. And so just make sure you know and understand the policies, because even violations that are accidental can have serious consequences. Now, don't be too worried. You are going to learn a lot in both AHS 107 as well as in Health 101 about the right way to paraphrase and properly cite sources in your assignments. If there's something you don't understand, or if you're not sure if something is a violation, please ask your professor or TA. And then also, as Grace mentioned before, just don't wait to ask for help if you're struggling in any way, academically or your mental health. Don't wait to ask. In Health 101, we will be talking about mental health as one of the topics in the course, and you'll be learning about different resources available to you. The sooner you reach out, the sooner we can start to offer resources and support. And again, the sooner you check in, if your courses aren't going well, the more opportunity you'll have to get support and turn things around before the end of the term. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. Now, I'm sure you all must be wondering what's next, and I'm here to tell you that your orientation events will continue until Monday night. So make sure to check portal and ask your orientation leaders if you have any questions about the remaining orientation events. Classes will start on Tuesday. So remember that the key to success is keeping up with your classes. I, for one, have had instances where I have kept up in some classes and not kept up in others. And trust me, not keeping up isn't something you want to do, I promise. Don't be shy and make sure to get involved. Keep an eye out for the Waterloo Undergraduate Student Association, also WUSA, virtual clubs fair, which I mentioned previously during the panel. In the coming weeks, the club fair is always something that is very fun and interesting. I look forward to it every year. You'll make tons of connections and maybe even find new hobbies and passions. I highly recommend it. Be sure to stay connected with us in order to get updates. Follow us on Instagram and connect with us on Facebook. A little bit of a shameless plug, self-promo, but it's for your own benefit. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us. Recording of this session will be released within a week, so be on the lookout for that. Just a quick reminder for our first year students that another orientation event called Pulse is tonight at 8 p.m. So be sure to check Portal for more information and get in touch with your teams on Microsoft Teams. Once again, welcome to the Faculty of Applied Health Sciences here at the University of Waterloo. We're really glad to have you here.
Before you guys go, I just want to reiterate everything Ida said in that last slide. So if you guys have checked Microsoft Teams, you would have seen that there is a program chat for your program. So it'll say like, I think it says SPHHS chat or School of Public Health and Health Systems chat. If you have any questions about your program or anything like that, feel free to drop them in there. And we have a plethora of leaders that'll be able to help answer those questions or get you to the right person to answer those questions. And as she said, make sure you guys are also checking Microsoft Teams for your Teams chat. So it'll say team number 2 dash some sort of name. If you interact with the peers in that chat, you all can complete team challenges for a chance to win a prize at the end of the week. So we highly recommend you do it because the prize will be amazing. And tonight we do have our plethora of Ultimate Lively Secret events or Pulse at 8 p.m. And you will get to find out what all these amazing events are at Pulse. So please come. You'll have a great time. I can guarantee it. And we hope to see you guys there.
Amazing. Thank you to all of our panelists and staff and faculty that joined us today. And obviously to all you students for hanging out with us on a Wednesday afternoon. Like we said earlier, if anyone has any extra questions that we weren't able to get to during the panel, feel free to type it again in the chat or use the raise your hand function so that you can unmute yourself and ask your question, because we do want to get your questions answered. So thank you, everyone. So I know, sorry if you hear the buzzing, that is my phone. There were a bunch of questions that we weren't able to get to, so feel free to ask them now or send an email with your questions to your academic advisors, or feel free to stay on the line and all of us will be here. So, yep, see you all tonight. Oh, that was from Ryan. Okay, yeah, but see you all tonight. There's a question about, are there advisors who will help us prepare for the MCAT and apply for medical school? Would one of the advisors like to answer that question?
Yeah, Laibat, I just dropped out a link in our chat. That's our further education team. So there are further education advisors who can help students with regards to not just medical school or any, but also other professional programs or postgraduate programs. We do recommend you to do your own research because different universities and different programs do have different requirements. But yeah, there is a special team on campus that will be able to help students with those kind of inquiries.
I can also say one more thing. They do assist with helping you through the interview process for medical schools, and as well as helping you assist you with your personal statements, your intent.
Perfect. Thank you, Grace and Doris, for that. I know very little about medical school and the MCAT, so thankful to have you guys here. Matt asks, for each of our courses, how many lectures will we have per week? Dr. Williams, would you like to answer that question? Dr. Williams here?
I don't think she is. I could take that because I actually do the scheduling. All the courses, normally about 3 hours a week, or actually less than, because it's really 50 minutes instead of an hour. So it can be broken up to 1.5 hours, or actually for this one, it'll be a bit different now. Sorry, retract that, because it is asynchronous. So it's really dependent on the way that the course will be delivered and if there's going to be any live Q&As or drop-ins. But it's really asynchronous. It's far different from the on-campus delivery because it's going to be online.
I do, so depending on different instructors or professors, they will schedule their courses differently. Some classes may have midterms where some other courses may just have assignments. Those will be determined by each individual instructor. So on September 8th, I believe, when you have access to learn all your courses, you should be looking at your syllabus, and that will give you a detailed breakdown on how each courses will be graded. So it will be very different from class to class. How will tests and exams work? Again, that's similar to the midterm questions. It's really up to each instructor to decide how they will deliver their course and how will they evaluate their course.
Mm-hmm. For any of our panelists who are still online with us, if any of you had experience with online courses, either in the winter term or the spring term, would you care to provide your experience with your online courses? And I guess how tests and exams and midterms worked?
Yeah, sure. I can take over that one. So for online courses, I have taken an online course before. I took organic chemistry. And honestly, it's all about being on top of your A game, making sure that you're managing your time well, making a schedule for yourself. Since a course is online, for when I took it, there weren't live lectures done for us where we'd have to attend at a specific time slot. They were all lecture videos that were posted for us to learn on our own. And obviously the professor is available for you to contact, whether on the Learn discussion board, on a Slate board, or even through email. And of course, your teaching assistants will be there too. And it's good to make connections in a class with your fellow peers, because you'll have friends that can, help you out. You can do group studies via Zoom calls, Microsoft Team calls. But as for midterms and tests, when I took it online, it was administered online as well. Our midterms were online, and of course you have to abide by your academic integrity, policy 71, make sure. And other than that, not much else, just making sure you're on top of your game and staying abiding by academic integrity.
For sure. Yeah, adding on to Ida's point, different courses will have different marking schemes. So some courses will mark entirely based off of assignments and projects that you have to complete and submit by a certain time. Some courses will have weekly quizzes that you will have to complete within a certain time frame. Some courses mark completely based off of larger final assignments, so an essay or a group project or something like that. So it'll depend on the course that you're in. In Learn, there's a list of textbooks and reserves. What are reserves? Does one of our panelists feel confident to answer that question?
So textbooks, I'm just going to jump in right now here. No response.
Yeah.
Textbooks are, textbooks. Reserves can be different things. Sometimes, depending on whether it's like a physical book or, so textbook is, for example, your instructor will assign, this week we're going to cover chapter 1 to chapter 4, like depending on the materials. This is the textbook for the course. Reserves are usually supplementary materials in addition to the textbook materials. So sometimes the instructor may say, here's a newspaper article, here's a research paper that kind of is complementary to what will be discussed in this week's materials. So those are not an actual textbook, as I was trying to explain that. That's what we call reserves.
Perfect, thank you. Hopefully that answers your questions about reserves on Learn. Hamisha asks, are there any physiology courses that are more related to animals? I've been having trouble finding anything other than zoology. Very good question. You will most likely not be able to find any physiology courses relating to animals necessarily within applied health sciences. But for sure, if you look towards the biology courses, there will be more animal-based physiology courses available to you. Although I do know that there is an upper year course within, I believe, health studies that you can work on animal research. if Grace or Doris wants to add to that.
Sorry. Hi. So sorry. So the only one that I can think of is Dr. Melka's neuroscience. It's the Health 461. It's a lab-based course, and it's really it's research on laboratory rats with respect to their neurology, and that's the only one that I can think of that is lab-based, dealing with animals, and the specimen is a rat. And there are about 12 students, capacity for that course is about 12 students because it's lab-based and you're working in the laboratory with Dr. Milka and his teaching assistant.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend looking more towards the Department of Biology if you are interested in a physiology course about animals. Matt asks, because everything is asynchronous, is there a chance for our courses live meetings to clash? And I believe Dr. Williams had answered his question by saying any live office hours and group meetings will be optional and recorded to view later. If there are conflicts between any of these optional synchronous meeting times, we can move the timing around. Does that answer your question, Matt? And then Grace provided the link to look at all courses available. Yes, so this is a wonderful resource to look at if you are looking for courses within other departments. It'll provide basically the course codes and descriptions for every single course offered by the university. There's a question about not being able to see courses up on Learn. I can't see them on the weekly calendar view on Quest. Laura, I think you had answered this question earlier, so if you want to reiterate your answer with this.
I think maybe Laura is gone.
Laura is gone.
Yeah, but I can answer it. On Quest, you will only see any of your courses that are scheduled for live meetings or like live lectures. All your other courses will have probably recordings or other course material on Learn that you're responsible to kind of go in and be proactive and study them as the course outline says.
Yeah, thanks, Zainab. There's another question about how do transfer credits work? I believe that is something that is dependent on like your own individual courses. So that might be a question for you to ask an academic advisor through an email, just so that they can help you with your specific courses and questions about your transfer credits. And I believe the emails for our advisors can be found at that website. So uwaterloo.ca/advising. I believe that is the link. If I decline a transfer credit now, is it possible in the future to accept again? Okay, Grace just sent the email into the chat. That is also another specific transfer question. So sorry, words are really hard. But Grace or Doris, if you can.
I do not believe you are able to decline a transfer credit now and later on reinstate it. So you should really make your mind before you decide to decline that transfer credit. So any question with regards to transfer credits, most of our first year students are coming in fresh, they don't have a transfer credit. If you do have a transfer credit, that's something more individualized and that's more personalized. You should have received an individualized sequence. If not, please send your inquiry to the email address that I just provided, sphhs-undergrad@uwaterloo.ca, and include your student number, your name, your full name, and your student number, so that we are able to look up your record and provide you with further personal assistance.
Zainab, Viv, you're muted.
Yeah. Okay, am I unmuted? I thought we planned for this. Anyways, I think that is it for the questions that we have coming in. But I do have one final question for all of our student panelists that are here. Do you have any words of wisdom to pass on to any of the students that we still have remaining on the call? I'll start it off with Sammy. Sammy is not here. I will start it off with Ida.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Okay, go Sammy.
Just enjoy the process. I mean, you're gonna enjoy the 4 years. Study hard, get involved, and yeah, just enjoy the process. Take things one day at a time. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The 4 to 5 years you spend here really do fly by before you know it. Next up, Laura, if you're still here. Or Ida. Yeah, I think Laura left. Words of wisdom from me. Honestly, it's to take things lightly. I remember being in first year and letting one bad quiz grade or one bad assignment grade get to me really badly, and it really took a toll on me mentally. So just take it easy. It's not the end of the world if you get one bad mark on a quiz or an assignment. You have so many other courses. You are so much more than a course. So just remember that. And to avoid that, generally, just make sure you're organized and staying on top of everything. But while you're doing that, make sure you're making the most of your university experience and also having fun at the same time. You make friends, make connections. I know like studying is like the main goal right now, and it's like study, 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 but staying up cooped up in your room, just studying constantly, that also can get to you, which it did to me at one point. And, going out for bubble tea with friends, sometimes that was something for me, or even like a Zoom call with friends, which we do. We have lunch, dinner together sometimes. So that's lots of fun. So just make sure to have stuff aside from school that can not necessarily distract you, but be a nice coping mechanism. Amazing. Last up, Emily, if you'd like to provide some words of wisdom, and then we can, I guess, all head off for the afternoon.
Absolutely. So a big thing that I learned after first year was really to just kind of sit back and relax, because the experience goes by so fast, and first year is so fun, and it's filled with so many new people and experiences, and just soak up as much of that as you possibly can. Like, talk to as many professors as you can, make as many friends as possible, because before you know it, like, I'm already in my second year, you guys are starting a week, and it's crazy to me that I was in your shoes a year ago. So really just take what you can out of it, experience as much as you can. If you can join a Zoom call, or do an activity, do it, because you're never going to regret it if you go out and do something. And of course, like everyone's been saying, studying is very important, but taking care of yourself is even more important. So make sure that you're keeping yourself in check. You're doing everything that makes you happy, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. And yeah, just make the most out of it and have a great time.
Amazing. Thank you to all of our amazing panelists and staff and faculty for helping us today. That concludes H.Y.P.E Health Studies for us. So you're all welcome to go about your day, and we hope to see you tonight at Pulse, 8 p.m. sharp.
Bye.
If we don't see you there, we'll be quite sad. So please come. So this is when we start doing the wave as people are signing off.